Hey everybody, it's Mark Smith, the host of Digital Roughneck, and I'm here with a special guest, Ryan Davies, who is an actual digital roughneck. Okay, and I'm super excited for you guys to meet Ryan, get to know his background, and get to know really the skill set of a real digital roughneck. So, welcome, Ryan.
Thank you, Mark.
So, how did you get into oil and gas? Did you just were you from an oil and gas family? What got you into it?
Oil and gas family for the most part. Had some good connections, people to get me in early on back in 2007. So I've been started on the drilling side, and I've gone through the automation on the pad side after, and here I am.
So, on the drilling side, would you consider back then you consider yourself a roughneck? I mean, were you doing all that kind of stuff, dealing with pipe and casing and all that stuff?
Yep, I covered from floor hands, motor hand to derrick hand to drilling. So I covered everything a roughneck can do on a drilling rig.
And so then what prompted you to go from really called the operational technology side where you had to know how all that mechanical stuff worked into the digital side, which is, programming and automation and all that stuff.
I had an interest in, the drilling rig. It used to be just a joystick, and then the ones I was on had multiple touch screens and displays and gauges, and that kind of struck an interest in me. So after the slowdown in 2009, I went and got a computer engineering degree, which kind of added to all the little different things I knew, and it just kind of built from there. New challenges, new technology.
So then you were working for somebody who then said, "Hey, you can do the automation side." And what did that involve?
Most of it was troubleshooting PLCs, total flows to end devices, communications between those devices. Just had a very important job of making sure the site stays running.
Right. So with CleanConnect, we talk about and Digital Roughnecks, we talk about the marriage of OT, operational technology, and IT, information technology, and these two worlds come together. And that's really happening for you with your role at CleanConnect. Can you kind of explain how that works? So, we were talking about earlier before the show about, like, for example, the interface for what we call the regular devices on a network through Modbus, and now some newer sort of modern devices connecting. How talk about those two worlds coming together?
It's been very interesting for me. It's been quite the um learning experience. It's because the industry is not used to a PC on site on a production site is just unheard of almost. So melding those technologies, the old technologies, the old proven one that the people still use, and combining it with you know AI driven servers that are able to talk to the devices that were pre-existing in the field.
Yeah.
It's been very interesting for sure.
So for those that may not be, so why would you do that? So let's imagine a future pace a little bit. So let's take the burner management, for example. So today it's sort of an autonomous device sitting there, and it communicates through Modbus to the SCADA system, and it says, "Hey, I'm going," and maybe it's sending out, "This is my temperature. This is a few pieces of data it's sending out." But what you can't do today is if you saw that it wasn't working, it doesn't have, it's not, it's, if there was some data saying, "Hey, it's running too rich or too lean," you can't remote into that device. You can't configure it remotely. You can't see it across a network like you can a typical, like a PC device. I could see them all remotely. I can manage anything through an IP address remotely, fix it, update it, do whatever. That's the IT world. The OT world, you can't do any of that. So there's, I think, as we see some of these new devices coming on where you can do that, imagine what it would be like if you could manage all the devices on a network remotely. What would that give you the capability to do?
I mean, there'd be it would be more than just say one person settings on a Modbus or the operators. There'd be You'd be able to put all the data on the site together, um, optimize flow, like optimize your production on those sites, and having the oversight of what one expert can review multiple sites at a time and make comparisons, and also, yeah, optimizations is the biggest thing, I think. Less overhead cost and more production is a really important thing there.
Well, and as we talk to customers that early adopter customers with CleanConnect, were what where they want, just in a short way to say it, is autonomous compliance, autonomous operations. So having something out there that's monitoring 24/7, seeing what needs to be seen, not sending too many false alarms, but hey, if I need to take care of something, I can take care of something. Same thing on the operations side, less human involvement, right? It's just sort of, hey, I'm watching everything so I can see if there was a fire that broke out or if there's a leak that happened or anything. I'm watching it 24/7, even in the remote locations that nobody would want to hang out with 24/7.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. So you're now involved with making that autonomous compliance and autonomous operations a reality.
Little by little. Yep.
Little by
There's a
little.
lot, there's a lot to it.
So if somebody wants to become a digital roughneck, what are the skills that you learned? Does everybody need to go and get your computer information science degree? Or if you were to say, now, here's what I would learn.
Yeah, I would probably start with Python. It's got such a wide range of uses, not just for what we use it for, but throughout all industries. It's a pretty big language.
I see that a lot, for people who are looking for people with skills, they say, hey, you got to know Python. So how did you learn that? Like, what would you recommend someone go to learn that language?
I would start by setting up. Well, you could put it on Windows. YouTube videos, tutorials, Udemy classes, Linda classes.
Okay.
There's all sorts of free and cheap resources to pick that up. It's just a matter of keeping your motivation and drive to learn something new and having a reason to do it.
Right. So having a reason to do that. So do you see the industry starting to move to this, to where that kind of skill set's going to become more normal? I mean, do you see like the evolution of an automation technician sort of evolving to add that IT stuff in there?
I definitely do. There's the PLCs now are on Code Assist version 3.5 plus, which is basically object-oriented programming, or can be. So everything's moving in that direction, which is similar to the Python is object-oriented.
So how did you learn sort of the networking side of things?
A lot of that started in college with the computer engineering degree, but then uh, I worked in an industry where that's what I did: networking, set up server racks, planning out um, sensor networks, camera networks, uh, speaker networks, and just kind of bringing that all together. So I've got quite a few years of experience in networking in general that I'm utilizing here at CleanConnect.
Excited to have you more. And I think, if you could just say, hey, guys, this is happening. This transformation is happening. Just, I'll give you the last word there.
Yeah, no, this industry's moving, and it's moving for the better. Like you said, compliance, safety, but also optimization. So there's positives in a lot of different directions with this transformation.
Yeah. And as you said, optimization is a key thing, because that's what's going to drive the return on investment. And with some of our clients, I won't give exact numbers, but it's in the, hundreds of increase in efficiency and whatnot. So people are going to be motivated to do this. So anyway, hey, Ryan, appreciate you being here and talking to your fellow Roughnecks about becoming digital roughneck.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Yep.